Mr. Kadam sipped his tea and looked at me thoughtfully. "You have not been sleeping well, Miss Kelsey. Your eyes are tired." He made eye contact with Kishan, and then set down his cup. "I think we should let you sleep. We have a long journey ahead and much can be discussed on the road." "I agree," Kishan interjected. "These last few days have been hard on you. Get some rest, Bilata." I finished my tea. "I guess I'm outnumbered. Fine. Let's all get some sleep then, and we can leave that much earlier in the morning." I used the scarf to make another bedroll and pillows for all of us. I fell asleep to the quiet sound of Mr. Kadam and Kishan speaking softly in their native language. The next day, we began our journey home. We made it past customs and then drove about halfway home before stopping at a hotel in Gaya. We took turns driving and napping in the back. Kishan got a turn, but Mr. Kadam kept an eye on him, still smarting about the wreck with the jeep in India. While we drove, we told Mr. Kadam all about our journey. I started with Mount Everest and the bear. Kishan talked about carrying me through the Spirit Gate and hiking through Paradise. Mr. Kadam was fascinated by the Silvani and asked dozens of questions. While I drove, he took copious notes. He wanted to keep a detailed record of our journey, and he listened carefully and wrote page after page in his refined style of penmanship. He asked many specific questions about the tests of the 4 houses and about the Iron Bird Guardians, nodding as if he had expected this or that to occur. At the hotel, we sat around a table and showed him the pictures Kishan took of the Ark of Noah, the World Tree, the Silvani, and the 4 houses. The visual record helped us remember more details, and Mr. Kadam pulled out his notebook again and began scribbling. Kishan showed me the camera and asked, "What is that?" I turned it different ways and laughed. "It's one of Hugin's eyes. See, there's the nest." Kishan flipped through some more. "Why didn't you take a camera into Kishkinda?" I shrugged, but Mr. Kadam explained. "I didn't want to burden her with too many heavy objects. She needed water and food." Kishan grunted and said, "I'm definitely getting a copy of this one, Apsaras Rajkumari." He handed the camera to me. It was the one of me in the gossamer gown with fairies' hair clips. I looked like a princess with glowing skin and bright eyes. My hair hung in soft waves down my back, and I could just make out a pink fairy peeking around a lock of hair to see my face. Mr. Kadam looked over my shoulder. "You look quite becoming, Miss Kelsey." Kishan laughed. "You should have seen her in person. Quite becoming is an understatement." Mr. Kadam chuckled and went to get his bag from the car. Kishan rested a hip against the table. He cupped his hands, brought up a knee, and looked at me with a serious expression. "In fact, I'd say that I've never seen anything more beautiful." I shuffled my feet nervously. Well, it's always startling when someone gets a makeover. A fairy makeover would be all the rage at the salons. He gently took my elbow and turned me toward him. "The makeover is not what made you beautiful. You are always beautiful. The makeover just accentuated what was already there." He lifted my chin with a finger and looked into my eyes. "You are a lovely woman, Kelsey." Kishan put his warm hands on my bare arms and rubbed them lightly. He tugged me closer. His eyes darted down to my mouth. As he lowered his lips to within inches of mine, I desperately pressed my hands against his chest and admonished, "Kishan." "I like the way you say my name." "Please let me go." He lifted his head, sighed, and said softly, "Ren is a lucky, lucky man." He reluctantly slid his hands from my arms and then stepped over to the window. I busied myself by gathering toiletries and pajamas. Keyshawn watched me quietly for a minute, and then announced,
"I think I need a makeover too. A hot shower is calling my name."
Still nervous, I said, "Yeah, me too. A hot shower is going to feel heavenly." He raised an eyebrow.
"Would you like to go first?"
"No, you go ahead." His eyes twinkled as he regarded me.
"It would be more heavenly if you told me you wanted to conserve water."
My mouth opened in shock. "Keyshawn!" He winked at me.
"I didn't think so. Can't blame a guy for trying."
I was saved from responding by Mr. Kadam's return. By the second day, Mr. Kadam and I had compared notes on the vision of Lokesh. He had noticed the tattooed servant helping Lokesh too, and he thought his appearance was distinct enough to track down where the man was from. Mr. Kadam had also planned to discreetly investigate Lokesh's office in Mumbai. The air was so muggy outside that we probably could have filled our water bottles just by hanging them out the window. We passed temples with golden cupolas and busy people working in their fields, drove over swollen rivers and through flooded roads, but all I could think about was getting back to Ren. In fact, the only thing that interrupted my thoughts of Ren was Keyshawn. Something had changed between us in Shangri-La, and I didn't quite know what to do about it. Spending all those weeks with Keyshawn didn't help. He was moving past flirting and was starting to make serious overtures. I had hoped that he would lose interest. Originally, I had thought that the more he got to know me, the less he would like me. But I seemed to have the opposite effect on him. I did love him, but not in the same way he felt about me. I'd learned to rely on and trust him. He'd become a good friend. But I was in love with his brother. If I had gotten to know Keyshawn before Ren, things might have been different. But I hadn't. Thoughts kept nagging at me as we drove. Was it just luck that I met Ren first? That we had the opportunity to fall in love? What if Keyshawn had followed me to America and not Ren? Would I have made a different choice? The truth was that I didn't know. Keyshawn was a very attractive man, both outside and in. There was something about him, something that would make a girl want to wrap her arms around him and keep him forever. He was lonely. He was searching for a home, for someone to love him like Ren was. He needed someone to take him in and let the wandering lost tiger rest. I could easily envision that person being me. I could see myself falling in love with him and being happy with him. But then I thought about Ren, who had the same qualities that I loved about Keyshawn. Ren also needed someone to love him, to quiet the restless tiger. But Ren and I fit together so much more easily. Like he was made especially for me. He was everything I could possibly wish for wrapped up in a gorgeous package. Ren and I had so much in common. I loved the way he called me little nicknames, and how he sang for me and played his guitar. I loved how he got excited about reading Shakespeare, and how he liked to watch movies and cheer on the good guys. How he would never cheat, even if it was to win the girl he loved. If I had never met Ren, if Keyshawn had been the one in the circus cage, I felt I could be happy with him too. But with Ren loving me and wanting to be with me, I could never be persuaded to look in Keyshawn's direction. Ren filled my world even when he wasn't here. There was no shades of gray for Ren. He was the white cat, and Keyshawn was the black, literally. The problem was that I just didn't see Keyshawn in the same way Ren did. Keyshawn was a hero too. They'd both been hurt. They'd both suffered. And Kishan really did deserve a happy ending just as much as Ren did. Behind the wheel, Kishan glanced in the rearview mirror from time to time, watching me. I was biting my lip deep in thought when he said,
"Penny for your thoughts."
I blushed and replied, "Just thinking about saving Ren." Then I deliberately turned in my seat and napped. When the car finally pulled into the driveway, Kishan gently shook me awake.
"We're home, Bilauta."